I think MrBeast is uncancellable. Let me explain. If you don't know MrBeast, aka Jimmy Donaldson, you're obviously new to the internet. Welcome, have a look around. Anything that your brain can think of can be found, but I recommend you run away as fast as possible like you're being chased by a pack of starving cannibals. Oh, you're still here? Well, okay then. Jimmy's channel is the most subscribed YouTube channel in the world. He's known for challenge videos where he gives away money, he tortures himself by surviving awful conditions, and participates in philanthropic efforts like building schools, giving away $30 million for free food, helping hurricane survivors, and more. Seems like a pretty decent guy, yeah? Well, over the past 2 weeks, he's been thrown under some heavy allegations. Let's speed run the allegations. And I'm gonna keep saying allegations because even though there's damning evidence for a lot of this stuff, I don't want to cease and desist like other creators have gotten. Which is strange because if the allegations weren't true, then they'd be sending defamation lawsuits, not cease and desist. But anyways, I digress. Here are the allegations, start the timer. 1. Being fully aware that one of his co-workers was talking inappropriately to a minor. 2. Hosting illegal lotteries on his YouTube channel. 3. Faking his videos using CGI, using friends and family, and manipulating results. 4. An alleged NFT scam. 5. Changing his Feastable recipes to have more sugar despite his concerns about the obesity and diabetes epidemic in America. I'm gonna stop counting. He heavily used gambling tactics to promote to children. People are uncovering past edgy things he did, like saying homophobic slurs and joking that he wouldn't buy a slave for $400 because it was too expensive. And his most recent video production has numerous issues according to the New York Times, including that contestants had insufficient access to food, lack of medical care, having to forego essential medications such as insulin, they had to endure unsafe conditions during physically demanding tasks. Some contestants reported experiencing injuries from physical challenges, including participants being hospitalized. Other individuals were reportedly seen vomiting and passing out, and one contestant told the Times, "We signed up for the show, but we didn't sign up for not being fed or watered or treated like human beings." Okay. Oof. I think I just broke the world record for explaining allegations. MrBeast's next video is definitely going to be $1 lawyer versus $1 million lawyer. But he'll be fine because I think he's uncancelable. By the way, let's quickly define cancellation because it can mean so many things to so many people. Basically, in my eyes, cancel culture is a movement to remove celebrity status or esteem from a person, place, or thing based on offensive behavior or transgression. Basically, take away his money and remove his fame. Now, with that out of the way, here are 5 reasons why I think MrBeast could never be canceled. Number 1, he's a whale. Now there's a theory that's called TBTF, too big to fail. The theory is that certain corporations are so large and interconnected that their failure would be disastrous to the greater economic system. This mostly applies to things like large banks, steel companies, hospital companies, sports franchises, energy providers, etc., etc. My accent went like that. Basically, anything that is so deeply ingrained in an economy that its failure would be disastrous is a company that is too big to fail. So if we take that concept and bring it over here to YouTube, the channel MrBeast fits that narrative. The channel is so deeply ingrained in the economy. I mean, just in 2003, the channel earned the most revenue on the platform, and will probably do again so this year. And for a perspective on how many viewers he reaches, YouTube reached 2.7 billion active users in 2003, and in just 1 month, MrBeast hits around 2 billion views a month. His channel is the poster boy for YouTube. His channel is quite literally representative of the YouTube dream, the dream where anybody can make it and turn YouTube into a full-time career. There is no way that YouTube would let such a great PR opportunity fall off. He's uncancelable. Number 2, Mr. Worldwide. Now, Pitbull calls himself Mr. Worldwide, but the channel MrBeast really deserves that title. His content is available in over 16 different audio languages and 16 different subtitle languages. He is watched worldwide on YouTube. Even if he is somehow canceled in America, where most of this cancel culture exists, he has the rest of the world at his fingertips. If Drake Bell can fall off as an American performer and be embraced and be successful in the Spanish community, anyone can be successful without an American audience. I mean, even in America, he would still have supporters left. He can go where all the cancelable people go to kick and rumble. In the end, it might be slightly less profitable since the channel would have lower ad rates, but it still could operate and make money, and he could still hold fame. Uncancelable. Number 3, the good guy scales. Now this might be a stretch, but I like to introduce the concept of good guy scales, something I spent all night cooking up. And by all night, I mean 10 minutes while I was on the toilet, but don't discredit it. Most of us have been exposed to the scales of justice. Usually in court, this means weighing facts and evidence to decide a verdict. But in this case, let's use a scale to judge the good or bad somebody does to reach a verdict. Meaning the more good someone does outweighs the bad somebody does. And if the bad is not equal to or greater than the good, there's no way that we'll get a guilty verdict. MrBeast does a lot of good. He's very philanthropic. He's planted a million trees, removed millions of pounds of trash from the sea, helped homeless people, the blind, amputees, etc. One could argue that he saved and changed plenty of lives to avoid cancellation. There will always be people who will support him because of this. So, he's uncancelable. Number 4, the great replacement. Now here's where I blur the lines a bit and bring up something that everyone hates these days: nuance. Ew! I know. I feel like this channel should no longer be considered as a YouTuber channel, but as a corporation channel. MrBeast has transcended Jimmy Donaldson. The company is MrBeast, and Jimmy is just a host of that channel. If Jimmy does anything bad enough to tilt the good guy scale to negative, they could really just replace Jimmy as a host with somebody else. In my opinion, most people don't come to the channel for Jimmy the creator like most people would flock to a YouTuber's page. People come to the channel to see insane things be done and for a chance to win money. Jimmy barely interjects his personality into the videos. I'm sure if he was replaced, a group of people would miss him, sure, but it's not a big enough group to kill the channel completely. I mean, when MatPat left as the host for Game Theory, channel's views dipped a bit, but I would say they're still thriving, getting at least 1 million views a video, which is successful in the top 1% of channels. And if they keep producing content, there will be a day when people don't even know who MatPat is. So the same could be said with Jimmy. Also, we've seen this situation. He's not going to lose that much money. We've seen this situation with Cody Ko. Even though he was canceled for having sex with a minor, he still owes a part of the company he created, and he is not in the day-to-day operations. So even if Jimmy falls out of a coconut tree, he'll still be raking in enough money to live comfortably. He will be unburdened by what has been. He is virtually uncancelable. Number 5, so what? My last point before I get to my final thoughts is so what? Who really cares? His audience is mainly kids that don't know right from wrong, and as long as they are getting fed entertainment, it doesn't matter who's on the iPad in front of the drooling dinguses. Nothing really matters on the internet. All this cancellation is really just rage bait at the end of the day. Things happen and we move past them when the next thing that pisses somebody off comes along. I feel like as long as Jimmy doesn't address anything really, or says, oh, we're looking into it by a third-party person, and remains quiet other than that, he'll continue to be successful. I mean, after all these allegations dropped, MrBeast released a new videos and it hit around 65 million views in less than 24 hours, making it his most viewed video in 24 hours with hardly any backlash. There were a handful of comments addressing the controversies, but they were all deleted. And yeah, censorship is kind of scummy, but as long as he can stay out of negative light, he's gonna be okay, because if people don't see it, MrBeast is uncancelable. Closing thoughts. Now, I'm not trying to glaze MrBeast. I really couldn't care less what happens. I believe everyone should be held accountable for their actions. And in hindsight, this video is kind of depressing. No matter what someone can do, they'll get away with millions of dollars and have a fine life no matter what happens. So as a palate cleanser, here's a video of a puppy to distract you from the fact that as long as the channel keeps delivering the thrill, the spectacle, and the promise of massive giveaways, his audience will stick around. And to distract you from the fact that in this ever-changing landscape of internet fame, Jimmy Donaldson has built a fortress. The only way MrBeast will go away is if the brand is scrubbed from every social media on the platform in existence, which will probably never happen. So for now, it does look like he's uncancelable.